All right, viewers, now what's also happened is massive political row has erupted over the floating bodies that have been found in Uttar Pradesh. Yes, there have been many that have been found in Buxar, Bihar as well. But in 2 areas of Uttar Pradesh, bodies were found floating, suspected to be COVID patient bodies, which has now resulted in a huge political row with the Samajwadi Party blaming the Yogi Adityanath government for mismanagement.
Dead bodies of suspected COVID victims continue to flood the river Ganga in Uttar Pradesh. After Hamirpur, dead bodies were spotted floating in the river in Ghazipur. The district administration, with the help of locals, retrieved the unclaimed bodies in an overnight operation and performed the last rites.
प्रशासन की इसमें कोई ऐसी लापरवाही नहीं है, ये हमारी हम सब की लापरवाही है। कुछ लाशें जो हैं 75% डैमेज थी, तो उनका जो है कि नहीं मतलब मिट्टी में उनको दफनाया गया, और कुछ लाशें जो हैं कि नहीं 50 से 40% थी, उनको जलाने का काम किया।
As concerns mount over the rising COVID death toll in Uttar Pradesh, the local administration says that immersing bodies in the river is a part of tradition.
गंगा सभी के लिए पवित्र है। गंगा को मां का दर्जा दिया गया है और इसमें शव का विसर्जन या जल प्रवाह या जल समाधि ये माना जाता है कि मोक्ष की तरफ हमारी परंपराएं आगे बढ़ती हैं। अब उसमें जनपद या प्रदेश तक वो सीमाएं नहीं खींची जा सकती हैं।
Meanwhile, a political blame game has erupted over the matter. The Samajwadi Party has questioned Yogi over the real death toll in the state.
उत्तर प्रदेश और देश की जनता जानना चाहती है कि धरातल की सच्चाई क्या है। कभी हमीरपुर में नदी में लाशें तैरती दिखाई देती हैं, कभी गाजीपुर में नदी में लाशें तैरती दिखाई देती हैं, कभी बिहार के बक्सर में लाशें तैरती दिखाई देती है। आखिर ये कौन लोग हैं जिनकी मौतें हो रही हैं, जिनकी नदियों में लाशें तैरती दिखाई दे रही हैं? ये सरकार कम से कम उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों को, देश के लोगों को बताए तो सही सच क्या है।
NCP too taunted the state government, saying that the BJP promised Ram Rajya but has left the people Ram Bharose.
जमीनी हकीकत ये है कि उत्तर प्रदेश बिहार जिस तरह से बीजेपी ने रामराज की बात की थी, रामराज तो नहीं लेकिन दोनों राज्यों को बीजेपी ने राम भरोसे छोड़ दिया है।
While the political finger pointing continues, it is the locals who are risking their lives by honoring the dead. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, let's take you right now to Uttar Pradesh, Maharajganj, where the migrants that have come in, there are a lot of locals from Maharajganj who are migrants who work in various parts of the country. Now, them coming in has resulted in a two-pronged worry. One, of course, that they have no work left right now. The other, of being the source of infection, and the second wave of infection, which is haunting the rural villages right now.
This is 25-year-old Rameshwar, a resident of eastern Uttar Pradesh's Maharajganj. For him, the second surge coupled with lockdown has brought back terrible memories.
पिछले लॉकडाउन में बहुत दिक्कत हुआ, खाने के लिए भी हर चीज़ के लिए कोई संसाधन नहीं था। घर से पैसा के भी ट्रक से लारी से ऊपर चढ़ के आना पड़ा। इसमें मुंबई गया था, वहाँ पे भी ऐसी प्रॉब्लम आना चालू, केसेस ज़्यादा बढ़ रहे थे, तो मैंने सोचा लॉकडाउन लगा, इससे अच्छा तो घर ही पे निकल आया। उधर भी काम नहीं चल रहा था।
He isn't alone. Like him, many have returned to their native villages.
Jai Kishan has been working in Ludhiana, Punjab's Ludhiana town. But since the lockdown was imposed and there was uncertainty how long it may go, he came back here in eastern UP's Maharajganj district all the way from Ludhiana. जब आप चले थे वहाँ से आपके साथ कितने लोग थे जो लुधियाना से चले थे?
अरे लगभग मान के 1000 लोग थे।
सब चले थे एक बार?
ट्रेन से आए थे हम तो। जैसे कि यहाँ पर मान लीजिए अब रोजगार तो है नहीं, मजबूरन तो बेरोजगार है तो जाना ही पड़ेगा वहाँ पे। तो रोजगार होता तो यहाँ कोई नहीं जाता।
Maharajganj villagers on their part ensured that those returning were isolated for 14 days.
वो सबको बताया गया कि आप अपने अलग परिवार से अपने दूसरे कमरे में रहें।
तो मान रहे थे सब नियम?
हाँ, अधिकतर लोग माने सर।
For these migrants, apart from COVID-19, there is another big worry.
ये जो चल रहा है टाइम, इसमें थोड़ा दिक्कत आ रहा है क्योंकि कमाई धमाई है नहीं और घर पे बैठे हैं, अपना किसी तरीके से चला रहे हैं रोजी रोटी।
और कितने दिन तक ऐसे चल सकता है?
और कितना दिन, बस मुश्किल से वही बस महीना दिन चल सकता है। इसके बाद और आगे तो सरकार जो चाहेगी करेगी।
Fear of pandemic and lockdown, the migrants yet again came back to their places. Been more than a month, still they are uncertain how they are going to survive, how they are going to battle not only this pandemic, but also the challenges of their bread and butter. Most are uncertain going back to big town like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. But now, here, they are still facing the crisis, financial crunch, and the biggest challenge of survival. With this ground report in eastern Uttar Pradesh, Maharajganj, with Amitesh and Sanjay Kumar, this is Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.
All right, viewers, let's shift focus right now to the state of Andhra Pradesh. A big political row erupting in the state as well. At the back of the deaths that were witnessed at the Tirupati COVID hospital, now a blame game between the TDP and the YSRCP.
ప్రజల్ని బలిగొంటున్నటువంటి కరోనా మహమ్మారి కంటే కూడా అత్యంత ప్రమాదకరమైన వ్యక్తిగా మనకి వాళ్ళ చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారి నైజం బయటపడుతోంది.
Stinging attacks and counterattacks. COVID politics peaking in Andhra Pradesh. From vaccination shortages to crippling health infrastructure in the state, the opposition Telugu Desam party is going all guns blazing against the Jagan government. Firing a fresh salvo, TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu's son and party MLC Nara Lokesh has claimed that the death toll at Tirupati's Ruya hospital tragedy was way above the officially released figure of 11. He alleges that the Jagan Reddy government is telling lies to cover up its failure and further claimed that 76 people had in fact died due to oxygen shortage all over the state.
Ground reports are saying that the casualties are even more, maybe twice or thrice of what the official figure is.
The TDP has further claimed that the state government was trying to suppress facts by restricting media and opposition leaders from visiting the Tirupati hospital. Chief Minister Jagan, meanwhile, has written to Prime Minister Modi, pinning the blame for the Tirupati deaths on the delay in oxygen supply from neighbouring Tamil Nadu and Karnataka.
ఇంకా ఆశ్చర్యం ఏంటంటే ఈ భారత్ బయోటెక్ అన్నది ఎవరిది అని అంటే సాక్షాత్తు ఈ చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారి బంధువులు.
So it is absolutely ridiculous. We condemn it very strongly. It is only to divert the people's attention from his failures that Jagan Reddy had stooped down to such a low level.
In a possible reference to complaints of vaccine shortage from some states, Bharat Biotech said it was disheartened to see their intentions being called into question. And that's not all of it. Former Chief Minister Naidu was also recently booked for creating panic by the Kurnool police for his comments on the N440K variant of COVID-19 in South India. With Ashish Pandey in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, this is a big boost in India's vaccination drives. An expert panel committee has now recommended that Covaxin be given the second and the third phase trials for children between the age group of 2 to 18. Well, that is big when it comes to combating COVID.
As pediatric wards get crowded with young ones, one thing is very clear. The coronavirus is not leaving children unaffected. The second monster wave of COVID-19 is seeing more children get infected, even those less than 5 years old. And now, a vaccine for children could be the only ray of hope against the highly infectious variants. India's indigenous vaccine maker Bharat Biotech spoke in 2020 about developing a COVID-19 vaccine for children in India. But it is only now that the firm has obtained approval from the Indian drug regulator to proceed with trials. The secondary panel has given a green signal to Bharat Biotech to begin phase 2 and 3 clinical trials on children aged between 2 to 18 years, as experts weigh in on the need to now vaccinate children.
Vaccine may take time, but we should vaccinate this group as soon as possible to prevent the third wave. One. Second, why it is important? Because in pediatric age group, you cannot isolate them in room. You cannot confine them in room. Very soon they will be out to the schools. They can be super spreader. They are very near and dear to the grandparents, so they can be very injurious. If they become contagious, they can be very injurious, very unsafe for the elderly. So we need to vaccinate them.
As kids remain locked up in homes, the vaccine for children and adolescents could help return children safely back to schools.
This is more to have a final, final fight against the COVID, because children can be involved in transmission, and by doing so, we can safely open up our schools and the other activities which children have not been able to do, like camps and sports and other gatherings which they have not been able to do. So that will be a huge boost. Please give it to your children as and when this is offered and the scientific world clears it off.
The US FDA has approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for children of 12 to 15 years of age. Pfizer has also asked the UK drug regulator to give a go-ahead to vaccinate the kids in UK.
Even as Bharat Biotech has now been given permission by the SEC to begin trials, we'll still have to wait for at least several months before we could have a vaccine to protect children against the coronavirus. But experts have warned that the third wave, which is impending, could target children more than adults, because estimates suggest that by such time, many eligible adults would have at least taken one shot of the COVID-19 jab, which will make children and the younger population susceptible to getting infected, which is why vaccination for younger children is the need of the hour. In New Delhi, Milan Sharma for India Today.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching our Fact Check segment on 7 at 7, where we bust certain myths masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp groups. Now, there is this video floating about, you might have seen it on various social media platforms, which seems to suggest that COVID-infected Hindus have destroyed idols and converted to Islam. Completely false. Hogwash. This particular image is from the idol immersion in 2019 Gujarat. Nothing to do with any of conversion or COVID-infected Hindus. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of 7 at 7. To stay with us, up next is our COVID Dispatch.